Hurak was deeply annoyed by the current situation. Firstly, he had been awakened in the middle of the night and told that the battle group attacking the Alpha Centauri system had gone radio silent. Secondly, all scouts sent to the Alpha Centauri system had also fallen silent, with none returning. And thirdly, he would have to take his personal battle group to Alpha Centauri, as securing it from the humans was paramount for their current war plans. The third point annoyed him the most and scared him, though he would never publicly admit to the latter emotional response. His battle group was made up of 1 Black Hole-class battleship, 3 Gamma Ray-class cruisers, and 10 Brown Dwarf-class frigates, with his flagship being the Ever-Shining Light, a Gamma Ray-class cruiser, as the Black Hole-class battleships were known to be ancient, bulky, and needing a copious number of crew members, as well as being slow to react to changes due to their low automation. Hurak, while now sitting in his captain's chair, asked, "Officer Froak, how long out are we until the Alpha Centauri system?" Officer Froak, a Gloid, whose species had green lizard-like skin, answered, 203 minutes, sir." Hurak then proceeded to ask his comms officer, Zeza, "What were the estimated human forces stationed in Alpha Centauri?" After shortly typing away at his terminal, the quite tired comms officer answered, "About 80 warships of various classes, likely made up of 50% or higher by frigates, with the rest being a lower number of destroyers and even lower the appearance of cruisers, and if the humans truly care for this system, a battleship or two. Though, if we assume all ships that entered Alpha Centauri were fully destroyed, it would have to be a fleet of at least 2 or 3 dozen battleships with adequate support of smaller vessels." This knowledge unnerved Hurak. If his officer's prediction about the size of the human fleet in Alpha Centauri struck true, then it would be the largest concentration of capital-class vessels in the whole war, until now. But he reasoned after fighting an entire battle group and scouts, the human fleet would have to be intact by now, as the humans needed a 9-to-1 advantage in equal class to win an engagement, and a 3-to-1 advantage if the human ships were of a higher class, though sometimes dependent on ship type. He then proceeded to give a battle group-wide order. "As soon as we enter the Alpha Centauri system, enter rhombus formation, with the front made up of capital-class vessels. I repeat, as soon as we enter the Alpha Centauri system, enter rhombus formation, with capital-class vessels in front." He chose this formation, as it provided maximum protection for their largest in number vessel type, the Brown Dwarf-class frigates. These ships, like all Guiviquo People's Republic ships, had particle accelerator weaponry, which lended itself naturally to close-quarters engagements, because of electrostatic bloom, which causes the either negative or positively charged beam to disperse into a radioactive cloud, making them ineffective and somewhat incapable of combating the humans at longer ranges. The second fact why he chose this formation, with the heavier vessels in front, was that these larger ships were simply faster, and as such the whole battle group could move faster, causing them to get out of ineffective weapon range quicker. Thinking he had everything set, Hurak decided on the best course of action for himself: getting some more sleep, and so he resigned from the bridge to his captain's quarters, after telling his second-in-command, Kinril, to wake him shortly before the battle group entered the system. Hurak was awakened 10 minutes before the battle group entered the system. He felt even more tired than before he had taken his nap, however that was possible, but he would have to make do. Sitting in his chair, the anticipation and worry of the coming battle in him grew. Would they be enough? Would his ship survive? How many men would he have to sacrifice for this victory? What would be his promotion for winning the battle? All these thoughts and so much more wore heavy on him, but then he heard the announcement warning the ship crew to brace as they transitioned into enemy territory, the Alpha Centauri system. They felt a tremendous pull forward as they slowed down, pulling them out of faster-than-light to sublight speed. The view he and his crew were then treated to stopped them in their tracks. With their integrated telescopes, they were able to see no human armada, not even any of their own ships, only a single human structure near Proxima Centauri, one star of the tertiary star system, multiple AU, 1 AU being around 149 million kilometers or 89,400,000 miles out for their current position. While this was a confusing sight, he knew what the plan was to approach the structure. Destroy or capture it, and then secure all inhabited planets for capture by ground units. And following that goal, his battle group slowly and over time accelerated to exactly 50% light speed. As the battle group got to within 0.5 AU of the human structure, they could see the finer details of the human structure. It was one of their core gun defense platforms, though this one had a lot larger dimensions than normal defense platforms. Also notable were the extensive sun-facing solar panels which extended from the platform. Right now it was inactive, though Hurak had a bad feeling approaching it, due to the fact that this whole situation was truly alien. After 2 minutes had passed, a signal was received. It was in Galactic Common. All Gorikro People's Republic military personnel, this is your chance to surrender. For surrender, turn off all battle systems, enter the escape pods, and comply with further orders given. If you comply, the UHNR guarantees humanitarian living conditions, and that after the end of the war you'll be safely returned to your home worlds and/or current residence worlds. Hurak didn't pay the empty words any mind. He would not surrender whatever the cost. As such was his pride as a battle group commander. Then, what felt like about 4 minutes passed, until suddenly a huge heat and electromagnetic field spike was detected by every sensor in the battle group, its origin being the human structure near Proxima Centauri. A relativistic piece of metal was hurled at them. It travelled at 90% light speed, and all ships would be able to change vector in time to dodge it, but the battleship. They frantically started the evacuation process of the large vessel, but it was simply too big with too many men and women on it. After about 2 minutes, the slug hit. The effects were disastrous. While the battleship had been protected by its shields and faced no damage, the crew wasn't so lucky. Due to the impulse exchange that took place when the human bullet and Guivro People's Republic ship hit each other, the ship was slowed down from 50% light speed to 30% light speed. It was Newton's first law that did the rest. The crew stayed in motion at 50% light speed, but the ship didn't. All ships in Hurak's battle group received a second signal from the defense platform. This is your second call to surrender under the same conditions as before. Now Hurak wasn't so sure anymore, but he knew that the platform was probably a one-trick pony and decided to order a focused head-on charge. They must disable it before he got more of them. Not even 5 seconds later, another slug was fired. It was Hurak's ship this time. None of them were able to surrender after the hit.